Okay, so a few jobs to do, so I thought I'd take the sidecar off and put the bike up on the ramp. I've already replaced the seals and repainted, blasted the head, barrel, cam box cover and that wrinkle stuff, which is quite nice. Because there was a slight leak, just a very slight weep from the base of the cylinder. But these don't have base gaskets. There's an O-ring tucked up in there, and there's two O-rings because the oil flows up the two studs to lubricate the rockers. Unlike the Dnepr engine, which has the pushrod tubes on the top, the idea being that the crankshaft whizzes round and, all being well, flings a bit of oil up to the two openings in the crankcase, and then oil sort of wanders down the pushrod tubes and sort of dribbles on the rockers and sort of runs back out again through a little tube underneath. This is, when I rebuilt this, I left the cam box cover off and just kicked it over, just used the kickstart on the other side, just kicked it and kicked it and kicked. And within a few kicks the oil just comes flooding out. It's a really nice pressurised oil flow to the top end. But I didn't do the other side. That's why it still looks as it does when I bolt it. And because the sidecar body sits sort of here, there's not enough room to get anything off, so I've taken the whole sidecar off, which is, it's a doddle. It's that one there, one underneath there, one up there and one there. Disconnect the wiring loom, and in my case I've got the earth from the, because the battery's in the sidecar now, the earth is there, and the positive, oh my god, I put that there. The positive runs along the frame for the starter motor, and because the original lead for the starter comes out the top here, it was, and I've put a much thicker cable on it. There was no way it was going to come up there, so I've used a flat piece of copper onto the solenoid, insulated it, and when it bolts to the lead coming in, that's all insulated and wrapped up. And the only thing I could see was that little nick there, just there, which is from the case, maybe a little bit there as well. But I can insulate them, and then where the case is, it's that little nub in there sticking up, just enough to touch on the, it's not rubbing, it's not sort of vibration and rubbing and wearing it away, it's just purely pressure, just sort of sitting on it, so I can take that nubbing off a bit more, put some more heat shrink on that, just to, but that's all I wanted to check at the same time, just to make sure nothing's rubbing up there and giving me any trouble. The diff has been leaking, which see the back tyre is covered in oil, gearbox oil, smells like cat's piss, it's all in there. It's not gone in the brakes, it just used to drip out of a, that's what tried to kill me just now, look. It just tries to, it drips out of that little hole, the top hole there, that's the drain plug, and that little hole there at the top, that's where it weeps out. And looking at the state of that, especially that, it's horrible. That's a brand new seal, but it is a Soviet seal. and at the same time I've got this apart. The original gear, pinion, crown wheel is an 8. That's got 8 teeth. That's got 37 teeth. So I've bought a new 35 and a 10. Now, the problem with a 10 is it's much bigger. Yeah. It's a lot bigger, which means it's not going to stand up. I've got to wash all this out. The bearing sits in there, this bearing. This doesn't come out because you can see it there, torch. It sits right on that, and I've seen videos, Russian videos, they're quite happy to just grind that lip out. I will double check and make sure and see what they do, but that little lip there, they just get a die grinder on it and whip it out. So I've got new seals. It's this funny looking, sits under this cover, and it's a funny looking thingy. You have to put your own spring in it. Got this from Windmill Motorcycles. They're on eBay. Jolly nice chap. And some more shims, because you have to shim the backlash. You can see there's a whole stack of them on there at the top of the bearing. So just there. So you have to get the backlash right. Once it's in and it doesn't move about, so it's got to contact properly. That's that. That's that. That's that. Check that. So, all being well, now that the weather's nicer, he says, it's been pissing down with rain all day. Look, puddles, bird poo. Now that the weather's nicer, I can take that side off, get it all cleaned up, paint it all, new gaskets, O-rings, blah de blah. Sort the nubbing out on the cover, put a bit of heat shrink on there, get the diff sorted, back on the road. So, oh yes, the welding. It is appalling. My welding is absolutely abysmal. I was gonna. It is embarrassing. All right, and if you've not eaten yet, don't look, because you'll just vomit. Look at the state of that. And that's even, sort of grinding it. I need more practice. I'm sure it's the gas. I'm sure the gas flow. I've not finished. I couldn't finish. I just couldn't stomach it anymore. But I think the gas flow is all wrong, because it's got that horrible regulator, which is no good. I've seen these on YouTube. You can take that pipe out and you turn the regulator on, and you're supposed to use it between 4 and 5 or 3 or whatever, and you turn it on and nothing, psh, nothing. It's just an absolutely cheap, nasty, horrible design. So I've got 2 of these. They're same size tube, just 180 degrees, so it will fit in there. I can use a set square on my mitre to make sure it's exactly parallel, and then cut it exactly in half. So I'll have basically half out of there, 90 degrees. I can put the other half on that other pipe I've got that's going to run along here, 90 degrees, and then just bridge the gap. I may have to trim, because I don't think this is horizontal. I can see now it's not. It's angled down a shade as it comes out the head. That's going to be horizontal. So I'm going to have to do just a one little funky cut on there to make it sort of parallel. This one will be parallel, and then I can just hopefully just bridge the gap with a short piece of straight tube. The other side is going to come along. Hopefully I'll one day get a spacer, what they're called, Moto Israel. They're a German company. They do spacers. So first, to give you a lot, more oil. This has, for a 1000cc engine, this has got 2.5 litres of oil. I used to have a Suzuki Katana 1100, and that had 4.5 litres of oil. I know, I obviously know what they're doing, but 2.5 litres of oil is ridiculous. So you get a spacer that drops the sump down. It's about 1 inch. And also on the front of that spacer is a screw-on oil canister. So I won't have to worry about tilting the engine to try and get the oil filter out, which is in there. Because as you can see, there's loads of space. So to change that oil filter, I've got to do what I've done now, basically. Take the diff, prop shaft, take that engine mounting bolt out, and hopefully with the use of a jack, tilt the engine down on that engine mount so that this will clear the frame. Because you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, oh yeah, that little, there's a little, these are grooved, these are where the BMW frame comes. So when this engine sits in a BMW frame, the frame comes round there and under here, completely missing this, it's above this, whereas in this, it's right behind it. So with a screw-on oil canister, oil changes will be a doddle. I'll have more oil in it, because pulling the sidecar, it does get hot. I think you take the oil filter out when you use the screw-on one, because it's a blanking. I think that the plate has got like a bit cast into it that fits in the back of this, the other side. So the oil comes straight into the oil filter and back out and totally bypasses that. It's also got fittings cast into it for an oil cooler, which on a BMW would sit on the cross brace. There's a cross brace on the frame. This one is right up there. So I could move that to possibly the sidecar mount, just lengthen the pipes, or even sort of on the side, have it sticking out the side, as long as it's in fresh air. I also want to drop this mudguard down, because you could get a badger in there quite happily. Maybe weld some stays or a plate on the back and just bring some stays up each side so the sidecar's much lower. What else? No cat. He's not coming out, it's raining. Apart from that, yeah, another thing, I want to change this. This is 5mm. I want to change it to a 6 because apparently these can flex. You can see it flexing now, look. Ring. Change that to a 6 so it's a bit stronger, and get a heavier duty cable. I don't know if you can see how thin that is. I mean, it's pretty thin. These baggy gloves, look. Ugh. But yes, the cable's too thin. I was trying to stop this. It's no fun, especially with drum brakes. Yep, so that's it. Any comments? Any mickey taken about me welding? Feel free. Any advice? Feel free. Thanks for watching. Goodbye all.